So who am I? I'm Orla. I'm Orla Kincannon. I work in the People and Organisational Development team at Aerogen. So I worked, I wouldn't say how many years either, like Ian, out of college, but quite a while. And I've accumulated some tips and tricks along the way, along with my team, who've helped me prepare some slides today for you guys, and also the marketing team who've given me some insights as to what exactly do marketing people want to know in particular. So if we jump into it, this is what we're going to do today. I have some little friends to help me explain along the way. So we're going to look at congratulations, you are where you are right now. It's time maybe to explore your career, you've probably started thinking about it. What are you going to do for to actually get you there? Design a CV, the key way that really you talk to companies and tell them about yourself. Showcase all your superpowers. I'm sure you have many, many superpowers. And I've heard some of the lovely questions as well over the course of this morning that you've been asking. So you're obviously very interested in the area that you're doing. You're master's students, you've specialized in this field. You've been in your course for probably 5 years, probably most of you now. Find a company and role that suits you. So we'll come back to that piece. And then the interview process. So what does that look like? Any tips and tricks? You've probably all done some at some stage, probably not loads, so let's see what we can explore there. First up again, congratulations. So you've got this, you're probably in your final year. How many are you in your final year? How many are finishing at the end of this year? You both? Finish next year, okay. And there's a few over there who are finished. So concentrate on completing your studies. You've come this far, you're almost at the end of the road, not too long to go, you're probably starting to think about your career. So there's no time like the present. Start exploring, starting thinking about what's important to you. Have you ever thought about your core values? Have you done any values work through college? No, not really? Okay, great. Because I have a takeaway sheet that you can take away to explore a little bit more about your personal values and what it is that makes you you and what are the things that you align with. At Aerogen, my colleagues have touched on it over the course of some of their chats this morning. You can see them in the wall, the giants over here. If anybody over there can't see it, before we'll have a look at them at the end. But these are the things at Aerogen that we find important. So we have integrity, teamwork, innovation, ambition. They could be values of any company, but we have value statements beneath them about what they mean to us specifically. And then we have behaviors beneath those, out on the wall, a lot of writing, that tell us exactly what is expected of us every day in work. At the centre, you'll see we care. Again, my colleagues spoke about that a little bit over the course of their discussions. And we care in our culture. So it's how we operate, it's the way people feel when they work here, and what do we care about? Well, we care about our customers, we care about our patients, we care about each other, we care about the communities that we operate with, our pledge, 1%, which you can read more about on our website. There's loads we care about, but that's the culmination of our care. So when you're looking for a job, you have to think about what are your core values. Do those on the wall make you think, that sounds like somewhere I'd like to work? Or are you going, not really sure I align with all of those? What is your own brand? Ian talked about this earlier as well. So what are the core things that make you, you? So there's no point working in a company that doesn't align with what your own personal brand is. So it's very important that you discover what is that. Next up, so you know what kind of is you and you've had a look at your own values. Next up is a CV. So you might be thinking, well, I'm a marketing student. What are they going to expect from me on a CV? Is it going to be fine if I just do a normal template? It depends. If you're trying to get into something graphic or really creative career, then put yourself, your own personality onto that CV, because you might as well. I'd advise you to do either one of two things, either keep it really simple and really clear and really easy to read, or wow us. One or the other. I've written 10S at the end of that because it's a kind of a stark thing, but it means 10 seconds is roughly how long professional or a talent acquisition person will spend looking at your CV. So make sure that the key things that you want to highlight are in bold or at the very top of your CV. Do it in chronological order is the easiest way for us to review it. Tell us what you've done right now first, and then go back to what you're doing on. And there are loads of avenues out there that can help you. I'd like to Canva or similar. If I asked for feedback, you're probably going to tell me 10 other amazing things that are better than Canva in the room. But I like Canva. There's AI as well. There's Pi, there's ChatGPT. There are so many different avenues out there digitally as well that help you if you're kind of sitting with a blank page. Next up, so you have superpowers, right? You discovered who you are, you have a great CV, what are you going to do next? Network. So this probably goes with career fairs in your colleges. Go to them, go to the companies, chat with them, make a connection, get a name, add them on LinkedIn, build up your network. Eventbrite is another place that people don't necessarily think of. They organise different events in loads of different areas of interest. Find one in the city that you like or that you'd like to work in and build your network there. And LinkedIn groups. So if you have an interest in sustainability or EU energy war, go on LinkedIn, search for LinkedIn groups and join them again. It's a great way to build your network virtually also. Ask others, so there's internships, so you probably have all done an internship at some stage or your colleagues have, so word of mouth means a lot. So ask people about different companies. Follow companies, join their talent communities. So most company websites, you'll find an area to join their talent community and send over that amazing CV that you've done so that they have you and they can contact you if they have jobs. And it's a great way to stay up to date with market trends as well. If you follow those companies on LinkedIn or whatever, they're talking about what's the newest, coolest things, and then you'll know about it too. And then Glassdoor is the last thing I have up there. Glassdoor and Indeed do reviews on companies. So by all means, check them out, but take it with a pinch of salt because they are very like TripAdvisor, and almost all of the people who go on there are people who want to rant. All the people who've had a wonderful experience won't go on there and tell you about their wonderful experience for the most part. So yes, read it and get an insight, but don't believe everything you read on there. Apply to the company role that suits you. So you've discovered what your values are. You can use the sheet I'll give you at the end if you want, or there's also other online tools. So research the company's values. So most companies will have a section on their website that will tell you about their values and their culture. So read it, research it. Be brand loyal to your own brand. So it's kind of self-explanatory to the group that I'm talking to. Where are you going to apply? So LinkedIn is a really good tool. In Aerogen, that's what we use mostly for advertising our roles on our website and on LinkedIn. You'll find a lot of jobs on there. Don't forget about publicjobs.ie. A lot of people don't think of it. If you're interested in getting into the public sector, or you're interested in following on your studies or going into lecturing, it's a great place to find those jobs. Indeed, job alerts. So there's a lot of different websites that will allow you to actually put in your email address what job it is that you want or type of job that you want, and they will. It's a horrible word, it's called scraping. So they scrape them from different company websites, they pull them together and they email it out to you every day. So it saves you a lot of searching. So for example, we don't have an Indeed account at Aerogen, but if you want to Indeed and search for jobs, you'll find loads of Aerogen jobs on there because they kind of steal them and pop them up there. Algorithms. So I'm not sure if you know this or not, but when you make your CV and you have the keyword, the wording on your CV, lots of companies, especially bigger companies, when you apply for a job, your CV will go into a system, and the system will match your CV to keywords on the job description. So if they don't match, they'll probably never get to a human. So nobody will ever actually read your CV. So as painstaking as it is to try and tailor your CV, if it's a job that you love the look of and you go, oh, this is the job for me, I'd absolutely adore to work here, take the time, go down to the job description. If you have slightly different versions of words, just switch them out because the algorithm will catch your CV and it's more likely to get to a talent acquisition person to actually review it. keep it true. If there are 5 things on the job description list and you go, oh, I don't have them, I'll add them in. Obviously don't. Keep it true. Cover letter on the bottom there, I've kind of done a little person because it's entirely up to yourself. Are we likely to read your cover letter? Maybe not. We'll probably read your CV first. If we don't find a piece of information in your CV that we really want, like if somebody is based in Toronto, Canada, and the job is based in Ireland, and I can see on their CV they're based in Canada, and they've attached a cover letter, I'll probably read it then to go, are they planning on moving to Ireland, or am I going to have to contact them to find that out? Otherwise, honestly, and I will be very honest with you, I probably won't read the cover letter, so it's up to you if you want to include it or not. Maybe some people do. So, you've got your values, you've got your CV, you've networked, and you've found the perfect job, and you've applied for it, and now you're been called for interview. What next? What are you going to do? So, imposter syndrome, you might have heard of it, you might not have. It basically means being somebody that you're not. So there is no point going to an interview and being who you think the interviewers want you to be. Be yourself, because when you go into work in that company, which hopefully you're going to get because everything else is awesome, why not, and you're awesome, what are you going to actually do if you've told them a bunch of things about your interview that you think that they want to hear, but actually you don't believe that at all, or you just really wanted to get the job so you made it up? Are you going to be really happy in that company down the line? Maybe not. The best thing that you can do is be professional, right? Be polished, but be yourself. Very important. No things that aren't on the website. So when people come to interview with me and I ask them, I'll always ask them, what do you know about Aerogen? Why are you applying to Aerogen? What makes Aerogen special for you? Sometimes they'll ream off the website and I'll say, okay, good, at least they've read the website. If they haven't read the website at all, I'll be like, oh, good, don't know. But if they can tell me something that isn't on the website, I'm impressed. So if they say to me, you know, God, I saw that John Power set up Aerogen and he set it up above a butcher shop and there were a couple of people working there and it was amazing, and now, oh my God, they're this global company that employs in 28 countries and I'm really impressed by that. I'll be like, tick, a big tick on my sheet. So know something that isn't on the website, or just pull the information together in a way that you think somebody will find interesting. Questions. So at the end of an interview, you'll generally get asked, do you have any questions for me? And what's the worst thing someone can say? Yeah, no. So prepare some questions, and even if the questions you've prepared were kind of answered during the interview, just pick one that you didn't think was answered really thoroughly and say, actually, I had wanted to ask this and you kind of talked about it, but can you tell me a little bit more about it? I've popped a couple of questions there for you that you can maybe ask, like, what's the culture like? So if you didn't get a good feel from the website when you read, and you're not sure if they care or whatever it is that their core culture piece is, ask them. What's the best thing about working here? So actually interviewers typically like that, and you'll get a really good feel because they'll give you an answer that they haven't really overly prepared for, even back to you, to Ian's point of, you get to interview the company too. And then, what would success like would be another question that would be good. So 6 months into this job, how would I know I've been successful? How would you know I've been successful? Those are some of the questions you could ask. And then, better to overdress than be informal, even virtual. About 6 months ago, I interviewed a candidate for quite a senior job, and it was virtual, but they were wearing a fluffy jumper and they had a cat on their shoulder. Which is fine, but does it give off the professional approach that I probably needed for somebody who's going to be going out facing customers all the time? Maybe not. So if you think you're being overdressed, you're not. Just wear the formal thing. It looks better in the long run, even if it's virtual. And also it'll give you the sense of yourself, you know, that you're kind of polished and professional and ready if you just kind of wear something formal, even if it's a virtual call. So some insider interview questions. So when you go into an interview, you're likely to be asked 2 types of questions. One will be technical or role-based questions. So they'll look at the job description, they'll look at your CV, and they will try to match, do you have the skills that I need you to have to do this job? And then competencies. So they're trying to see, or I'm trying to see, or whoever is interviewing you, Are you going to fit into this company well? Are you going to align with that culture? Do you have and share those values that we have here? Because it's not just about us ascertaining that you're going to be a good fit, but we want you to be happy here as well. So it's a two-way stream on that. Some practical tips then. So I asked the marketing team over the course of your career, what are the questions that you've got at interview which you found really awkward to answer? And these are some of the questions that came back to me. So how do you approach asking about salary expectations? So a lot of people find that an awkward question to ask. So typically a first round interview, it happens. As graduates, there's generally kind of a general pay rate for people coming into the market. Find out what it is. Ask people who've graduated the year before. Have an idea in your head. And it's okay to throw out a figure because most companies will have a budget for a role that they're going to hire into. So it's just really to ascertain that you're not miles apart, that the budget isn't, 70,000 euros, for example, and you come in wanting 150, and it's probably not going to work out. So it's good to ascertain it, but do your market research and know what it is that you want before you go in. Tell me about yourself. It can seem like such an easy question, but when you're sat there, you're going, what? I like fluffy jumpers, and I have this cap on my shoulder, I have 3 more as well. It's probably not the answer that we're looking for. So what we really want to know are 3 things. What previous work experience do you have? What's your previous education? And what are your ambitions, or what is it that you're going to bring to this company? And I want that no more than 3 to 5 minutes. Don't read through your CV from start to finish. You'll get lost in it, you'll go off on tangents. Just keep it short, snappy, and precise. Those 3 things. Work, education, what are your ambitions, what are you going to bring to the company? Will the role be a good fit? MDR, sustainability, well-being, ask them. If there are any of those things that really interest you, just ask the question. That's how you'll know, and trust your gut. Etiquette after interview. You can absolutely ask them what's the next step in the process. You can send a thank you email. Please don't make it 3 pages long or answer tons of questions that you didn't really get to answer in the interview. Just say thank you for your time. That would be my advice to you. And then situational competency-based questions is the last thing, really. So we can ask you questions sometimes that are set to throw you a little bit. So if you were in a situation, what exactly would you do? So the best way you can go about answering these type of questions, like tell me about a difficult situation, is using the STAR method, so it's easy to remember. So situation, task, action, result, and the percentage below it of how much time you should spend answering that question in that format. So tell me about a difficult, challenging situation you had and how you handled it. Okay, I'd say you've all done group work. And I'd say that, you definitely have experience of doing group